So I quit my dream job. Let me tell you why. All right, before we get into all that, my name is Jay Jury. You can call me Jury. Some of y'all know me from this YouTube channel from a long ass time ago. So if you're one of those subscribers, welcome back. And if you're coming over from Instagram or wherever else, welcome. I wanted to reactivate this channel and start using it just to kind of tell the journey of leaving my dream job to move to New York City and create our dream life. So I get so many questions and comments and people feeling super inspired off of the short form stuff, but I just felt like we need a place where we can actually just have a conversation and have some real dialogue. And I can share with a lot more time and not have to like worry about trying to slice things up and make it just fit and all that shit. Like I just wanted to be here and be able to rap with you guys. So that's what this is, and here we are. So let's get into it. I feel bad because I know she knows I was gonna record here and she came and sat here on purpose. All right, so here's the thing. Ever since I was a kid, I'm talking 12, 13 years old, I've always wanted to work at the Nike World Headquarters. But you know, that was like a pipe dream from where I was growing up. I grew up in the IE, Southern California. And I remember telling people what I wanted to do and people were legit like, you know, that sounds crazy, doesn't make any sense, yada, yada. Because like, why would these kids know anything about this massive place in Beaverton, right? It's just not really a common thing to talk about. But I got exposed to the headquarters when I was a kid and I was very fortunate to that. I owe that to my uncle who was throwing basketball camps, and he invited us to it one day, and the camp happened to be right down the street from the headquarters. And ever since I stepped foot on that headquarters when he took us, my eyes were so wide open, I kid you not. I looked at my pops and was like, yo, Dad, I'm working here when I grow up. Never looked back. I was like this crazy ass kid who was laser focused on this goal. So that was my dream ever since then. And played college ball, finished school, and I was just kicking down doors until I finally got my foot in the door. And when I did, it was the sweetest feeling ever. I'll never forget my first time stepping on that campus with a job and just being like, yo, man, we did it. Like, we're here. And fast forward, like I remember my first like legit job was in Nike basketball, and I worked in apparel, and I had the opportunity to work with the Signature Athlete business. That was the business that I was in charge of. And I remember the first time I was in a meeting with coveted or LeBron, one of those, I forget which one came first, but I remember calling my dad after, man, and just being like, yo, can you believe this? Like, this is crazy. Clearly I was stoked on the gig, and like, it's what I've always wanted. So I did the job for 10 years. I climbed the ladder. I wore all these hats. I'm working with all of my idols, and like, we're traveling the world. We're doing all this really cool shit. I'm seeing all these people wear the clothes we're making and going to these like activations and stuff. And at the core of it, like, man, it was like a dream come true. At the same time, I felt like this feeling of unfulfillment in another part of me that I hadn't felt until like towards the end of my career. And that was the fact that I had been putting my art and my music on the side for too long. And eventually it came to a head, man. Like, I just basically was like, yo, I feel like I'm hitting this creative ceiling. Once you start leading at a certain level, you get a little bit further removed from the creative process. And then like, a lot of the spaces I was being put in was really trying to put me in a box. And I'll never forget the day I took my last job, and this is like the epitome of a workplace trying to dim your light. I was literally asked not to talk about the fact that I was an artist, the fact that I was a creator. And that was kind of the nail in the coffin for me, where I realized for so long I had been making music on the side, and I finally got like the sort of the work-life balance to figure out how to start making it while I'm doing the job. And eventually, man, when that happened and I got that role, I just got super burnt out on having to dim this light for these other people. So that's when I decided that I didn't want to be 70 years old, look back and be like, fuck, I had something and I didn't go for it. At the same time, my wife simultaneously, she has been wanting to leave the city of Portland for fucking since I met her. So I felt like it was just this culmination of feelings where I saw her business thriving if she was in another city. I see her as an individual thriving if she was in another city. And I see the two of us starting to really outgrow the space and the place we were in. So we started to rewire our thoughts around just this idea of the dream life and leaving this dream job to go and chase this dream life. What would life look like? Imagine the moment when you feel the most fulfilled. You feel like you're living, you know what I mean? That feeling, how do you get that all the time, everywhere, right? And that's kind of the thing we were trying to figure out. I don't want to just work and have a job that I love. I want everything in our life to feel like that. So it's not even like, it isn't even about moving to New York to chase one thing. It's to chase a holistic feeling. And so that's been the most beautiful part of this entire journey. And for the last year, we have done exactly that. So I quit Nike June of 2024. We are now recording this in August 2025, but I am here in my home studio. I'm gonna pick this up for a minute in New York. And the skyline is right there. I can't even tell if you can see it the way I'm holding this, but fuck it, believe me, it's there. But anyways, like, I've never been more inspired in my life. And it's because we took this leap of faith. It's because we left this place that felt comfortable and we chased the uncomfortable while doing it so in a way that was very, very intentional and curated to create the exact life we wanted to live. And I would say our relationship is stronger. My music is the best music I've ever made. And I just feel so lit up, and like I'm in this growth mindset now, and there's no job that could ever replace the things that I've learned in the last year. And I'm really excited to see where this goes. Like, my biggest goal is to go back to Nike and have them bring me on as a collaborator. That would be super fire, such a full circle moment. So I'm here to build my brand, and I just felt like I got a lot of people who's been watching the way that I've been moving in the last year, and I owe it to you guys. Just don't want to hide all of this like open dialogue and excitement around what it is we're building. So join me as we work to create this dream life, as I work to build my artistry, and as I work to build my creative business. And let's have some fun. I'm gonna share like insights to how I create BTS. There's gonna be a lot of things that I'm gonna make sure happen on this channel. But going forward, if there's one thing you can expect to feel inspired. That is my only goal. So follow along, and I hope you find some inspiration somewhere on this channel, because we're gonna be talking about a lot of shit. And that's it. Peace.
Breathe. Hold up. Ain't really worth my energy. Hold up. I ain't wasting no time. I tell a bitch, please.